are looking for the latest in nerdy news, we've got you covered. On today's show, we are breaking down the latest of the Avengers Infinity War TV spots. There's a ton of cool little tidbits shown, some new screenshots, including one of Iron Man seemingly fighting Star-Lord. What's that about? We're gonna break it all down. There's also news about a new hot toy for Avengers Infinity War. This is the Captain America toy. And this toy is promoting a mystery weapon, which is said to be a huge spoiler for the movie. Naturally, this gave us a one-way ticket to Speculation Town. We're going to talk about what this mystery weapon could be and how it could impact the film. We're also going to do the dope list. This is the Nerdy News Rundown, your daily dose of nerdy news. Let's get this thing going. What is up, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world? I'm your host, Josh. Thanks for hanging out with me today and checking out your nerdy news here on the Den of Nerds. So let's get right into the news today. The most recent TV spot, which is being called the Legacy TV spot, showed us all sorts of new footage. Now, it's only slight little tidbits here and there, but there's a lot of cool stuff that I wanted to break down and go over. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the beginning of the trailer, which shows Thanos holding up the gauntlet and closing his fist. This shot is absolutely dope. We have Thanos surrounded by the Black Order, which is something that people have been talking about from the screenings, by the way, is how menacing and terrifying the Black Order is. As a huge comic book fan, huge fan of the Jonathan Hickman run, wow, this is really cool, and they look awesome in this shot, but it's just so cool seeing Thanos hold up the gauntlet like that and close his fist, beginning to use the power of the gem. There's a lot of purple in this shot, which showcases Thanos using the Power Stone, and this is likely at the beginning of the movie when he encounters the Asgardians and Hulk. Everybody's pretty sure this is going to end very badly for the Asgardians, so I mean, this just looks like maybe Thanos at the end of all that being like, yeah, I'm a badass, and now I got this gauntlet. Check it out, internet. Bam! Now, the reason this spot is called the Legacy spot is because it's showcasing a lot of footage from previous MCU movies, showcasing what a crazy 10-year wait this has been, what a build-up, what an unprecedented thing. If you're watching this show, I probably don't have to tell you how dope this is. You already know, but it's cool that they're utilizing that for the public out there. This is for like the normies or the casual movie-going audience, showcasing that, yeah, this has been a crazy buildup. And you know what? On a side note, this is actually working. I have a lot of friends that aren't particularly into comic book movies, and they're getting caught up in the hype as well. I mean, Infinity War is marketing itself brilliantly, and there are people out there going back, watching these other movies. I see a lot of people asking, what movies should I watch to get caught up on? How do I get caught up on it? So it's cool that the legacy aspect of this whole thing is working. Let's talk about that screenshot. It's only like 3 seconds in the trailer, but it's something the internet can't stop talking about. This scene seems to show Tony Stark, Iron Man, fighting against Star-Lord, and a whole bunch of people have obviously different theories about this. Could they actually be fighting? It's possible. I mean, maybe Thanos is doing something and Iron Man has the plan on how to defeat them, but it's like a really twisted plan. Maybe it leaves some people out there to die or some people in danger, but it's just what they have to do to beat Thanos. It wouldn't be the first time Tony has had a particularly disagreeable strategy when it comes to protecting the planet, so I don't know, maybe something big scale crazy is happening. It's a big gamble for Tony, and Star-Lord is not having it. That could be a possible reason why they are fighting. My particular takeaway from the scene is that it's likely a member of the Guardians dying or having something really bad happen to them, and even though Star-Lord cannot defeat Thanos and it's against their current plan, he's gonna want to just go react to that. Maybe this is Tony like holding him back, like, no way, bro, it's not the time, man, don't go after him right now. So to me, that's probably more of what's going on, but it is possible that they are actually having a legitimate fight. On a side note, if it is a member of the Guardians dying, just given what we know contextually from that scene on Titan, it would probably be Drax the Destroyer. After all, Drax is really like hard-headed. Look at the way he rushed Ronan the Accuser, and after they defeat Ronan the Accuser in the first movie, he says that his real target is Thanos. He's got to go try to kill Thanos. So yeah, it's probably pretty likely that Star-Lord is seeing his buddy Drax charge Thanos. Maybe Thanos literally obliterates the dude, and then Star-Lord's like, no! I am interested though, what do you guys think? Do you think that Star-Lord and Iron Man are actually legitimately fighting here? Do you think that Tony Stark is holding him back and something like that is going on? What do you think's going on in that scene? I'm really curious to know what people think. Now, there were some new spots that dropped on social media as well, and some people have been talking about this because it shows Spider-Man falling from that weird Q ship that Thanos has. Now, we know that Peter Parker is going to get on this thing as it ascends into the atmosphere. We also know that Tony Stark is on his way to go up there and rescue Spider-Man, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen in this scene. Now, we see in this newest social media spot that Spider-Man is falling. It's probably because he's so far up in the atmosphere, he can't breathe anymore, and he passes out. Now, there are two basic possibilities for what will happen here. Either Tony Stark saves Peter Parker right in time, takes him, puts the Iron Spider suit on him, it's really crazy, and then he puts him back on the thing, because we know from other teasers and trailers that Spider-Man in the Iron Spider suit is also seen on that same Q ship. So that's a possibility. Tony gets there right in time, saves him. But there's another possibility for this, and this takes me into another line of thought, and this is that maybe Spider-Man dies. I know, crazy. Spider-Man dies, right? Well, here's the thing. Wong died, and Doctor Strange just brings him back with the Time Stone. And so it's possible we'll see Peter Parker get on this thing, try to help out. It goes up into the atmosphere, and then he literally dies, and then he gets a do-over courtesy of the Time Stone and Doctor Strange. After all, there's precedence for this happening in the movie, and it would be crazy, right? What if he brings him back to life, showcasing this power to everybody and sort of giving them a do-over? Then Iron Man could give Peter Parker the Iron Spider costume, and he could go try to stop the Q ship, but with the proper equipment this time. Now, what's really crazy about this is it kind of got me thinking about death in this movie in general. Remember when the Russo brothers said we were going to get permanent death in Avengers Infinity War? And that idea of permanence was something that they really emphasized in that statement. The more I think about it, the more I think this could be to quell concerns of a lack of stakes, especially if there are characters that die in the movie and then are brought back. So if this happens early on in the film, you might get this weird feeling of like, well, man, Doctor Strange is just going to be able to bring them all back. It's going to be fine. Where's the stakes at in this movie? And if you start to think about it, maybe that's why the Russo brothers use the phrase permanent death. They want people to realize, even though people are dying and coming back, that no, there will be permanent death in the movie. In all likelihood, Thanos is going to get the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, and then that will prevent them from being able to do these do-overs, right? So even if people die and then are brought back, eventually that option is going to be taken off the table for the Avengers, and the death that we get will be permanent. So I don't know, this kind of got me thinking, man, maybe there'll be a number of deaths in the movie that happen and then are undone, but then maybe they're redone later in the movie. I don't know, this might be a little bit too weird for audiences, but I think they might sort of play with this idea a little bit. Kill some people, bring them back, kill some people, bring them back, and you're sort of like, oh my goodness, oh, it's okay. Oh my goodness, no, it's okay. And then at the end of the movie, it's definitely not okay. I don't know, I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. First of all, do you think Tony Stark's gonna save Peter Parker in that scene, giving him the Iron Spider suit in the nick of time? Or do you think Peter's gonna die and then get brought back by Doctor Strange? And while we're on that topic, I wanna know, do you think there will be death that is reversed in the movie, and then there will also be permanent death in the film? I think we're going to get a little bit of both, and it makes sense to me, but I want to know what you guys are thinking about that in the comment section below. All right, let's get into the next topic. This was a really cool little piece of news. This all has to do with Hot Toys, which, by the way, Hot Toys, absolutely amazing. Hot Toys, if you're watching this, I don't actually have any Hot Toys, but I'd be more than willing to get free ones from you and do unboxings on the internet. So yeah, Hot Toys, they do these incredibly realistic action figures, and they've been rolling out their line for Avengers Infinity War. We already saw the Black Widow, we saw the Iron Man, and we saw the Thanos figure. Well, the most recent addition to the Hot Toys Infinity War line is Captain America. Now, what's really interesting about this is listed on the website is all the accessories for this action figure, except it actually blocks out a mystery weapon, which on the Hot Toys website is said to be an incredibly spoilery weapon. So, this mystery weapon is a spoiler and also important to the film, or at least important enough to the film to be included in the action figure made by Hot Toys. Naturally, the internet was like, mystery weapon that's a spoiler for Avengers Infinity War? Let's try to figure it out. There are all sorts of theories about what this weapon could be and why it could be such a spoiler for the film. So I want to go over just a few of my favorite options circulating out there on the internet. And please, if you found something else out there, link it in the comment section. I want to know more and more about this stuff because, well, I'm just a big nerd. The first option is that it's actually a new shield for Captain America. And I know what you're thinking. Well, he's already got 2 new shields from Wakanda. And yes, that is true. He's going to get 2 vibranium gauntlet-like shields, which I'm sure he's going to utilize to kick a bunch of ass. But he's Captain America. He needs a Captain America shield. Now, right now, Tony Stark has the Captain America shield. And, you know, after the events of Civil War, it's unlikely that he'll be giving it back to Captain America anytime soon. However, at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, it is teased that Tony is actually working on a new shield for Captain America. What could this crazy thing be? Well, I actually think it might be the holographic sort of laser shield, which Captain gets in several comic books. So I think that could be very cool. Perhaps something created with a partnership between Shuri and Tony Stark, or this could just be a totally new Tony Stark invention and maybe something that helps him defeat the Black Order and put up a good fight against Thanos. The second option is that this is actually another Avengers weapon, and of course this would be a big spoiler because it would imply that the other Avenger would die. Maybe it's going to be Thor's new hammer, implying that Thor dies, but then Captain America is worthy and steps up to the plate. But that's pretty much the second idea, is that maybe it's an Avengers weapon that he's utilizing. Now, the third possibility, and my personal favorite, is that it is some kind of Infinity Stone weapon. So right now people are thinking, wow, maybe he gets the Mind Stone from Vision and they figure out a way for him to wield it. Now, the reason this would make a little bit of sense is because in the trailers, we see Thanos putting the gauntlet up to Captain America, and Cap is able to literally hold the gauntlet and fingers of Thanos. Now, don't get me wrong, Captain America is very, very strong, but especially when you consider, due to recent spoilers, we think that Thanos is rolling into Wakanda with a fully gemmed out gauntlet. Man, how on earth could Captain America withstand that kind of power? Well, maybe the last stone that Thanos needs, the Mind Stone, will be somehow being used by Captain America. What a crazy possibility and a great twist, but I don't know, man. It's still just a rumor. I would love for this to be the case. Captain America has classically used the gauntlet before in comic books. He's a character that has also wielded Thor's hammer, so there's a lot of different possibilities for what this mystery weapon could be, but that's the news out there on the internet. Hot Toys releases a mystery weapon for Captain America. Internet loses its mind. We speculate about it. Now it's on the show. If you've got a cool theory, please let me know what you're thinking. And what do you think about the theories I put forward for this mystery weapon? You think it's possible it's the hammer? Is it the Infinity Stone? Is it a new version of Captain America's shield? Whatever you're thinking, let me know in the comment section below. All right, everybody, let's do the dope list. Just some rapid fire dopeness that hit the internet yesterday.
Sounds dope.
Because my life is dope, and I do dope.
First up on the dope list has to do with Deadline reporting that the Fox Disney deal will likely be done in the summer of 2019. All of the hardcore nerds out there have been wondering a lot about this deal ever since it was first announced. Everybody knew that the deal would be on hold. It would take a while to figure this out and be approved by the government. Well, according to Deadline, that time will be next year in the summer of 2019. That is very cool news. My personal opinion is that this means we could get announcements about what that future might look like as early as San Diego Comic-Con next year. I mean, come on, the DCEU has announced like 42 million movies that will never happen. So what's the real danger here, Marvel? Throw out some X-Men titles, throw out some crazy possibilities. The internet demands it. Next up on the dope list, Zachary Levi was recently live streaming on Instagram, answering fans' questions about the coming Shazam movie. Now, that's a pretty cool story in and of itself, but what makes it really dope is the fact that Henry Cavill was actually on that live stream, sort of trolling him, asking him about his favorite superhero, repping the Superman thing. Now, this is just such a fun story for a number of different reasons. First of all, Henry Cavill is such a cool fan, man. I really hope that they keep him as Superman in the DC Extended Universe. He goes to cons, he's very good with fans, so I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're gonna lose certain people from the DCEU, that's fine. Let's keep people like Henry Cavill on board. On top of that, does this maybe tease that Superman will show up in the Shazam movie? That would be incredible. I'd be really, really down for that. Now, as far as the comments that Zachary Levi made, he kind of talked about how this is his version of the movie Big, which sounds tonally perfect for a Billy Batson film. It's going to be very fun, and he also name dropped Superman in the live stream, saying that the adult version of Shazam is very much a version of Superman, this idealistic hero. Last bit of dopeness from yesterday had to do with an excerpt from Last Shot. This is an upcoming Han Solo novel, which is supposed to tie into the coming Solo movie. I read through this excerpt and it's really cool. It comes from the perspective of Lando. It's a little bit more adult than I was expecting. It's sexually charged. It's kind of gritty, and honestly, he's kind of a scoundrel in the excerpt, which I thought was really cool. The excerpt ends on a note kind of explaining a little bit of the relationship between L3 and Lando. L3 is, of course, the droid, which is going to be in the movie. That all seems really, really cool. If you're interested, go check out the excerpt. I'm definitely going to devour that novel when it comes out, but that was a really dope thing for them to do, to put out this little excerpt, man. I'm telling you guys, it was way more adult than I'm used to with these Disney Star Wars things, and it really intrigued me. I'm kind of down, man. I'm gonna really look forward to that book. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for hanging out with me and getting your nerdy news from us here at the Den of Nerds. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.